here I am once more, not sitting where I'm supposed to be to start my reading diary, but hi, it's Jessi, and today I'll be reading more of Words of Radiance. So, if you haven't been following my Stormlight Archive reading diaries, and why not, I am a first-time reader of the Stormlight Archive. I've managed to go this long without reading it and without spoiling myself. And today I'm going to be starting part 3 of Words of Radiance. Spoiler warning that this will contain spoilers for part 3 of Words of Radiance and anything before it. So if you have not read Words of Radiance, at least through part 3, I'd recommend bookmarking this and coming back later. Sit back, relax. I'm in a weird... I'll update you when I'm a little bit into it. You know, I usually cut it out, but basically every time I start recording, I immediately do something with my hair. Anyway, Words of Radiance, part 3. I am on chapter 39. So we have had, what has happened so far? The main thing that's happened, I would argue, the only important thing that's happened is that Shallan and Adolin have met. That entire sequence, oh my god, Shallan. From the moment she meets up with Kaladin until the end of that meeting was just unbelievable. Her and Kaladin with their little verbal sparring match was just something else. That's all I can say about it. It was something else. I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah. Let's see. Adolin, just, oh my god, and the immediate thirst between Adolin and Shallan, like, y'all. I feel a little bit more vindicated knowing that Navani also doesn't believe that Shallan's dead, which makes me think maybe Navani knows something more about Shallan's abilities, because Navani and Shallan seem close, so I wonder if it's possible that Shallan would have told Navani about the things she can do, right? So maybe Navani knows something more about what Shallan can do, and that's why she doesn't think she's dead, because even with, like, if I've been saying the right name, Yasna. Because even when Shallan was like explaining how Yasna died, like Navani was like, I need to know exactly what happened. I don't think she's dead. Anyway, I'm gonna be reading like book 7 of Stormlight and being like, still waiting for Yasna to show back. Anyway, Adolin picking fights, like literally. Setting up more duels. He's letting Sadeas play him so much. And I think that about covers what's happened so far. I've been enjoying I enjoyed the chapters that I read, but feels like not that much interesting has happened. Also, Shallan like totally like maneuvering herself into that one camp, like clever of her. I think it's really gonna screw Dalinar over. But I also think it has the potential to really help Dalinar out if, like, Shallan wants to gain influence in this camp and then use that. And plus, like, she's the hot new commodity because she knows all about what's going on in here. So if she wanted to work with Dalinar, she could very easily quickly become an asset to him. But it seems unclear whether she's going to do that or not. I'm going to keep reading. Probably a little bit more tonight. Maybe I'll get one more update tonight. If not, sometime tomorrow. So, yeah, that's it. Eventually I'll rearrange my furniture again so I don't have to keep sitting on the floor. Chapter 44, which puts me, ooh, am I at like the halfway point? Not even. Chapter 44. Sorry if that made you cringe. I I actually got to hear like 2 or 3 days ago and just never got around to updating because sometimes life just does that to you. So let me see. We had a Yasna flashback, Shalin flashback. The fact that I keep mixing them up, is it is it really, really stupid for me to have like theories based on my inability to discern different characters? Because if so, we have some issues. But yeah, oh, that was the one where we get to see how horrible her father is. And I think that's really the important thing from it, is that her father is like the worst. Also, the king of her land's bastard son was introduced, and I can't help but feel that that is in some way significant. I mean, like, right, I mean, whether it's significant for her backstory or if it's significant in the story overall, I don't know yet. But it's definitely significant in some way. Then we had some, what else happens? So then Shallan became, what is her name? What name did she use? I know it and I just can't think of it right now. Vale. She becomes Vale, which is something I knew happens with her at some point. So I've seen art of Shallan and Vale together, and there's another character whose name I can't remember, and I'm assuming the third one's also her, but I'm gonna pretend like I don't know that. And I just didn't know. I think I knew, but forgot about it until we got to her starting to do these illusions, and then I was like, oh yeah, there's that. Which isn't like bad, like I'm not like upset. It's not like this was a major reveal or anything. It's not like, I thought, from what I had understood of things, I thought it was going to be a reveal, like that there was this character Vale that's introduced, and then later we find out that it's Shallan, but like the way it was here wasn't actually a twist, so I don't actually feel bad that I got that spoiler. She's playing with fire and something is going to go terribly wrong, and that's really my only thoughts on it. Something is going to go wrong at some point. And then, let's see, there was a Kaladin perspective there in the middle. Anything important that happened in that? Oh, he learned how to walk up walls. Yeah, he learned lashings. I don't know. I keep having this issue that it feels like Kaladin figures things out really, really quickly. Like, it feels like once he figures something out, he never struggles with it again. He figures things out really instinctually, where I feel like Shallan needs to struggle for it more. Now, don't get me wrong, she still has these massive leaps, but she struggles with it. Like, she accidentally soul cast once, and that was like in a moment of panic. It makes sense that like when her emotions running high, she could manage to panic and do it. She does it with the boat, but that like took time and it was like effort. But then she couldn't do it with the stick to turn it into fire, right? Her illusion stuff tends to go much faster, which makes sense considering her primary thing is like lying. So it makes sense that the illusion stuff would come to her more instinctually quicker. But even that is like, she could disguise herself only after she'd been practicing for a really long time. And even then she still has the crutch if she has to draw stuff in order to do it, right? Whereas Kaladin, it just feels like he figures it out. Like, he'd been clearly unintentionally draining Stormlight from spheres to heal himself, to give himself higher stamina. That's something he's clearly been doing for a long time, right? But then he accidentally does the whole like lash the arrows to his shield once, and then suddenly he can do it. The next time he tries to do it, he just does it, right? He sees Seth walk on a wall once, and suddenly now he can do it, right? Like, I don't know, it feels like it comes too easily to him, and Shallan has to struggle for it a little more. But more than that, I think what really bugs me is that it seems like Shallan, even after she figures something out, it's still hard, which makes sense. Like, just because I know how to cross stitch doesn't mean I never make mistakes, right? Just because whatever, like you still make mistakes. It's still, and that's even after your experience. When you're learning, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna go slowly all the time. Feels like Kaladin learns something once and it always goes perfectly for him. And maybe I'm wrong, but like literally his fight with Seth, like he managed to heal himself from having a shard blade cut, a thing as far as we know isn't even possible. Like it's bugging me. And I don't know. I just feel like Kaladin goes through so much, so me saying like, oh, Kaladin doesn't struggle enough sounds like so dumb. But especially in this book. Like, in this book, nothing hard. Kaladin's had it easy this book. I don't know. But that's me on chapter 44, so I'm gonna keep going from there. Put my bookmark back in here. Okay, this might be the worst possible time to record because my partner's getting a shower, and in about 30 seconds he's gonna be playing a podcast really loudly. What is he doing? Anyway, Words of Radiance. I am now on chapter 49, page 676. Here's the thing. Lots of stuff is happening. I don't have a lot of thoughts on what's happening. Let's see. Kaladin started training with a shard blade and met with Moash's would-be assassins. Here's one thing I will say. Kaladin and Adolin have entirely way too much chemistry together. I'm sorry, they do. Infinitely more chemistry between Adolin and Kaladin than between Shallan and either one of them. Sorry, my thing is crooked. And I don't have a thing to put under. Yeah, now it's crooked the other way. We're just gonna go with it. So other than that, we've had some Shallan point of view. She's practicing her powers, getting a little better with them. I'm hoping she kind of figures it out quickly, because I like learning magic systems. I don't like struggling through magic systems. Oh my god, the background noise in this clip is going to be obnoxious. And Shallan is struggling through it, and it's just kind of, I don't know. It's cool. I don't even have a problem with it. It's cool, but I'd like to see her doing cool stuff, not figuring out how to do cool stuff, if that makes sense. But we have gotten a couple more flashbacks from Shallan, and oh my god, baby Shallan is such a sweetheart. My reflection, that's not the right word, seeing myself in Shallan more and more as she goes on, the whole things going wrong in her family and her taking steps to try to fix it. Not really what I was, but wish I had been that. But she is just a delight, you know, trying to find things to make her brothers better, you know, just she's just the sweetest. Her dad is a real piece of work. I'm telling you, any villains are bad, right? Like, you know, you can be various levels of villains. You could be a sympathetic villain. You could be an interesting villain, whatever. The second you hurt children, I cannot stand you. All of my love to hate villains, all of my villains that I hate the most are the ones that hurt children. Shafa from Broken Earth, Regal and Gallon from Farseer. Just the second you lay a finger on a kid's head, I hate you. So Shallan's dad, real piece of work, and I cannot wait until he gets killed. I still think it's Shallan that does it. Now that she has this like paralyzing leaf, I'm starting to think maybe there's something there. But quite frankly, I just can't wait till he dies. Also wondering if maybe her brother comes back and does it, but that's the other thing. Who is that guy that came to talk to her? There's a part of me that thinks it might have been the, Hoyd. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. But also he might not be. He might be one of the Radiants? But there's no reason any of the other Radiants, except for the one that actually died, should be coming back, right? I don't know. I don't know who he is, but my money right now is on Hoyd. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm gonna try to update a little more regularly, because what happens is sometimes I just put this down and don't touch it for like half of a week. And that's what kind of happened here, and so I kind of forgot what was going on. And I'm gonna try to get better about not doing that. But I will talk to you guys soon. I left my book downstairs, but I just got to chapter 53 of Words of Radiance. Change venue for a little while because I'm on spring break, so I'm at my parents' house. But, oh my god. Okay, first off, and I realized that I could just take this out of the original recording. Nah, I'm gonna leave it in. I don't know why I forgot that we got confirmation at the end of Way of Kings that Shalin killed her dad. I totally forgot that we already knew that, so my excitement over still thinking that's true is a little misplaced. Other than that, though, okay, Shalin, well, so much. Her date with Adolin was awkward and I loved it. I think she actually kind of brings out a good side of Adolin. I still don't like Adolin, but I dislike him considerably less. I think one, he's starting to actually like step up a little bit more, and that makes me like him infinitely better. But also like around Shallan, he's not doing the same. He's not putting on that dumb facade of being like a womanizer and perfect, and he's letting that down, and we're getting to see some of his flaws. We're getting to see some of the things that he cares about. So I like that. So I still don't like Adolin, but I dislike him less. Okay, so the date with Shallan and Adolin was cute. And then she did her whole spying on Amaram thing. I think this is good. She's starting to, like, figure out her abilities. I think it's weird that she has to sketch it, but, like, I get where, like, that makes it more real for her. I assume that's the kind of thing she'll maybe overcome eventually. But in the meantime, that was neat. And, like, the way that she could quickly, like, go through and, you know, adapt as she went, that was pretty clever. But, oh my god, Amaram has her brother's sword. Which means Kaladin killed Shallan's brother, and I'm just, like, reeling from that. Also, it means that she doesn't have his sword, and that's what I had been assuming, was that, like, a few different pathways it could have gone, that, like, her dad killed her brother, and then she killed her dad, or her brother gave her the blade for some reason, or, you know, so I had been assuming she had her brother's blade, but she doesn't. I still think she probably got the blade from her dad, but where did he get it from? So that's interesting. That creates all sorts of questions. And I don't love that that's going to put a wedge between Kaladin and Shallan, because I kind of like their dynamic, and I don't want it to become more solidly antagonistic than it's been. Speaking of Kaladin, I like it when he's happy. I like Kaladin being happy. The way the chapter 52 went, like, flipping between Shallan and Kaladin was really cool. With both of them exploring their abilities and stuff. It's neat. I like them being set up as kind of almost foils to each other. But, Kaladin is sort of happy, but a little revenge hungry, and I'm not even mad. Like, I want to see him kill Amaram. I think probably Shallan is interpreting the stuff that Amaram has incorrectly. But maybe not. Maybe he... I don't know, because there's some secret that, like, Sadeas knows about him. So maybe? I don't know. But all that said, I wouldn't be terribly upset if Kaladin killed him. So, you know, Syl, I love you, honey. I love you. But maybe just let him do it. I mean... who's it hurting anyway? Unless it turns out Amaram is somehow working for the good guy. I don't know. But yeah. Shallan's gonna get herself in trouble, though, with these ghost blood things. Something's gonna go wrong. I was expecting the group that Moash is working with to be the same group, and I was thinking maybe, like, Shallan and Kaladin bump into each other while Shallan's disguised. I've been thinking that. And we haven't had, any definitive confirmation that's not what it is, but we also haven't had confirmation that is what it is. What I'm basically looking for is, instead of conservation of characters, I'm looking for conservation of shadow organizations, because that would make more sense. Because right now we currently have the one that Seth is working for, which is Zeth is working for, which is the one with the king that's killing people. We have whatever Amaram's doing, which may or may not be the same group. We have the Ghost Bloods, and we have the ones trying to kill Elokar, who may or may not be related to any of those other groups. So, interesting. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. But, man, that last section had a lot going for it. So, it was intense. Also, Adolin, just like... Oh, I guess Adolin had that meeting with the listener. And she basically was like, we're not giving you peace. And that's because they have that updated form now, right? Like, because the meeting was set before they had found whatever it was, storm form. And now they have storm form, which I guess would be what changed, that now they don't want peace. And I don't like that. So, especially because it, like, resolved Dalinar to, like, yeah, it's okay to murder them now. Which, it's... Although, I really don't like that we still don't really have a good explanation of why. Because, like... Why did that... What did... What's his name? The former king do to cause them to kill him? And we're missing something there. Maybe he had already figured out that the Parshendi were Voidbringers and he wanted to turn them into Voidbringers and activate them, so they killed him before he could, but now they're pushing them towards it on accident in order to fight off the Alethi. Maybe? I have no idea. Anyway, I think that's it for now. I will update you when I've read a little more. Okay. I look absolutely terrible. I'm wet and I'm backlit. We're just gonna go with it. So I finished chapter 55. Oh gosh, I keep updating you really right after some doozies. So I finished chapter 55 last night. Let me try to remember everything that happened. Oh my goodness. Shallan met with the ghosts folk, and she's she reaffirmed how, dangerous they are, I guess is the best way to put it. It was a little reminder for her of how dangerous they are. She didn't really get any information, although I do think she's being kind of clever with the amount of information she gives them or doesn't give them. I think she's being surprisingly clever about that. Yeah, and that was neat. I think I don't know, I think I like her exploration of her powers so much more because it feels like she thinks through what she does, whereas Kaladin is told something's possible by Syl and then he just figures it out. And I don't feel as strongly as I used to about, like, his being mostly instinctual where she has to actually struggle. I think they both struggle. I just think his struggle is, like, I just do the same thing over and over again and then I break through, whereas hers is, I think through this problem and eventually come to a solution kind of thing. Is that, at least that's what it feels like. I don't know. Kaladin's storyline. Well, so Kaladin went on a date with Adolin and Shallan. I'm sure something happened in between here that I'm not remembering, but that's okay. Wit showed up. I know his name is Hoyd, but I like calling him Wit. I don't know, it makes me think of the Fool when I call him Wit because they're both, like, non-name names. I don't know, I like it, so I'm gonna stick with it. So anyway, Hoyd showed up. Wit showed up. Adorable. It confirmed for me, I think definitively, that mysterious man that told Shallan about her brother was Wit. I think that kind of got confirmed for me based on her reaction to him, and I'm hoping we get their interaction later when she, like, talks to him again. What else? You guys are, if you know what chapter I'm on, you all know there's something more coming. Kaladin is bitter. Hates seeing Shallan and Adolin together, and I'm just gonna continue to headcanon that it's because he's jealous of Shallan and wishes that he got to go on a date with Adolin. anyway, they might now. I'm just kind of shipping all of them because Adolin, and I like the side of Adolin that Shallan brings out. So I'm just kind of three-way shipping them. OT3 now. I'm all for it. But yeah. I'm not sure on the Shallan Kaladin dynamic yet because it's so adversarial, but I don't know. I could see it working out. I just think it's so funny how wary of her she is. Oh, wait. He disappeared. Oh, it's fine. He just likes to do that. No, he didn't. He ran off that way. Anyway, that was funny. Anyway, I'm blabbering because I don't want to talk about it, but, oh, Dalinar, honey, Dalinar. Why? Why would you do that? So if you're not reading along with me and you need a little refresher, Dalinar just made Amaram the first ever Knight Radiant, or not first ever, but the first in the new line of Knights Radiant, put him in charge of the Knights Radiant, and why would you do that, Dalinar? Here's the thing. All of Amaram's, oh, he's such a good guy stuff, all we've ever seen that is by reputation, right? Kaladin trusted him because he was supposed to be one of the good Light Eyes, and Dalinar thinks he's one of the best and wishes he wasn't as part of Sidaeus' camp. Things like that. But we also saw Sidaeus says there's something untrustworthy about him, and we know with Shallan sneaking that he's doing something about the Voidbringers. So we're being told he's good, but we're only ever seeing the shady stuff, and obviously he's supposed to actually be shady. Like, I don't think we're supposed to believe he's a good person, but I think I would buy this conflict a little bit more if, just maybe, we got to see him be a good person. And the closest we got was when he promised he wouldn't let Tien die. And then he let Tien die anyway. So, like, I think maybe even that would have been a nice little thing if, like, he had actually done what he promised and kept Tien out of the fighting and then Tien died some other way. Or we saw, you know, like, we see a little bit with Shallan that he's good to the help. But, like, that's not enough. So I think there's really something missing there to make me believe why Dalinar trusts him so much. And that's where I'm really struggling with. What else? Oh, I kind of skipped over the whole plan to challenge Sidaeus to a duel. Something's obviously going to go wrong. I don't know. I think Adolin's going to win his duel against the two of them because for him to lose would just be such a big blow. But I also think somehow Kaladin, we're being led to believe, or we're being hinted at that Kaladin's going to try to use this loophole to challenge Amaram at some point. So that'll be really interesting to see. Maybe it'll make him want to kill Elhokar so Dalinar could become king, so Dalinar would be the one. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe he's going to set up an assassination just so he could foil it, because Elhokar already likes Kaladin. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with that yet, but what the heck, Dalinar? I don't understand why he trusts Amaram that much. We haven't been given nearly enough evidence of Amaram's goodness to justify that, but we'll see. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. My camera has 10 minutes battery and I have so much to say and so little time to do it in. I finished part 3. Not the interludes yet, I'll do that and update you next. I'm pretty sure there might have been one other chapter before it, but pretty sure all that this was Adolin's duel and then the, like, aftermath. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna talk really fast so I can say many things in 5 minutes. First off, I totally noticed that loophole when Adolin made the thing. I was like, you should have said one person, but I kind of forgot about it, and I should have seen that coming, but I didn't. And wow, I can't believe he did that. Wow. Renarin, poor baby. I really was kind of hoping he would pull something off because now he's been, like, actually trained, and something I was really hoping he would be able to do something in that fight besides just be a distraction. I want to know what Pattern was doing. Did Syl and Pattern meet? Because Syl was like, ooh, what's that? And flew off and then came back like a minute later. Did they meet and I didn't get to see it happen? What the heck? Does that mean Syl's gonna know that Pattern belongs to Shallan? And does that mean Syl's gonna know Shallan's able to do these things? And maybe Syl will make Shallan and Kaladin get along? I don't know. Maybe. That'd be nice. Anyway, speaking of Kaladin, whoo boy, what a crazy man. That was insane. I love it. Like, I love it so much. I think, okay, so, like, this was mentioned earlier, he talked about Silk still doesn't like the shard blades, and he talked about the idea of making one, so I think he maybe is gonna make, like, a shard spear for himself at some point, and that'd be really cool. Anyway, screw Elokar, he should have totally honored Kaladin's challenge, but here's what I'm thinking, okay. Alright, here's the thing, right? Like, we're all assuming, like, Amaram killed Kaladin, stole the sword from Kaladin and did that, blah, 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 but Dalinar has all these things, and, like, obviously Amaram very, very easily could have, like, paid people off, but, like, the timeline is the thing that's kind of weird about that, so I'm wondering if maybe Amaram used it, I'm at 5 minutes, Amaram used the blade that he stole from Kaladin in order to get another blade, and that's what's going on there, and so Amaram actually has 2 blades, one's, like, secret, or if maybe whatever weird shadow organization he's working with gave him another blade, or they traded blades, or I have a lot of theories there because I think Dalinar hasn't been lied to. Like, I think Amaram legitimately got this blade when he told Dalinar he got the blade. But, like, obviously we know that, like, it's true what happened with Kaladin too. Anyway, Kaladar. No, not something I'm shipping. Still full on the Adolin Kaladin train. Oh my god, them fighting back to back does something to me. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so anyway, Kaladin's back in prison. Now he doesn't trust Light Eyes again, so I think when he gets out, he's gonna totally go along with, Moash and the, assassination. I mean, like, that's gotta be what he does. Anything other than that, Sadeas is a old piece of dog doo-doo, and I hate him. But he's clever too, and yes, I realized that Kaladin shouldn't have done what he did, so that could have happened, but I also didn't think it would have gone well, because while I totally think Sadeas is probably not actually that good of a fighter, Adolin was completely exhausted, so there's no way that fight would have gone well, so I think, like, while the having to wait a year sucks, I do think it's for the better in the long run. And my camera is really seriously about to die, so I'm going to stop here, read the interludes, charge my camera, and I will update you guys soon, but god, Sanderson, you can't just, like, dangle that in front of me and then take it away. It's not fair to tease. It's not nice. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. I literally changed angles because I got my hair dyed yesterday. And the natural light shows it off better. Which is stupid, because this is definitely not going to be the first video clip you see of me with my hair dyed, but I also realize that other people watch these that maybe don't watch my other videos, so. In any case, look at it, it's so pretty. Okay, interludes. Finishing part 3, so interludes 9, 10, 11, because there were 4 in each of the previous sections. So much to unpack here. Sorry, need to keep track of the time. I got plans at noon. Okay. So. Lift. I am aware that Lift is a divisive. I'm aware that Lift is a divisive character, among Stormlight fans. What do I think of her? Okay. I don't know what I think of her. I think she's fun, but I don't love her. I don't think she's annoying, which is definitely a word I have heard thrown around to describe her. I just don't think she fits. So I have some specific things. First off, I'm gonna say I don't like that she calls Stormlight awesomeness. Like, I get that she wouldn't necessarily call it Stormlight. She's absorbing it in a different way. She might not be associating it with Stormlight because it's not from gems, spheres. So I understand where she might not be making that connection and she would call it something else. But literally, and correct me if I'm wrong, have we heard literally any other character use the word awesome in this entire series? It just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel like it's a word that comes from this world. You know, this world. So it just feels off to me. Other than that, like, I didn't have any real problems with her. She kind of feels a little bit like Vin, but less edgy. She feels like Vin if Vin had I don't know. But she's got a lot of vin in her, you know? And that kind of bugs me a little bit because it seems like something Sanderson has done before and in my opinion has done better. Tragic backstory, magical powers they don't know is magic. Just, it's giving me those vibes and I'm hoping that diverges a little bit. Because I don't know about that. Let's see what else. I like her spread. He's great. He deserves better. Wendell, I love you. If you would like to come be my spread, you're welcome. Edge Dancers kind of seemed like where I would be, and I feel like I did the Stormlight quiz forever ago, not knowing what anything actually meant, and I think I got Edge Dancer, if I remember right. Because they have the whole they care about people thing, and that's kind of my jive. Anyway, anything else? I think she got her, investiture, is that what it's called? That's not right. I think she got her spren, Wendell, because she went to that, like, wish thing. Like, you go to, there's, like, a spren you can go to and wish, because he keeps referencing his mother. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Lift, I guess. After that, we had a very short Seth interlude, and, he's losing it, and I can't blame him. And then we had a Neshinai interlude, and she's losing it, and I do blame her a little bit. I blame her sister a lot more, but I blame her a little bit. These new, rhythms. The new rhythms are very aggressive and concerning, and obviously that's the point. And anything else? Yeah, I'm just worried. That's really all I have to say about that. I'm worried. Obviously, that's bad. Oh, that's the other thing from Lift's section. See, I told you there was a lot to unpack there and I was going to forget something. Justice. It seems that maybe Justice is tracking down Radiance, or people with the ability to invest Stormlight. So that's great. And by great, I mean not at all great. But I love that he has, like, that whole, he has to work within the, like, confines of the culture. That's pretty cool. I like that that's cool. He's not, like, outside the law at all, actually. Like, that's literally his whole thing, is that he works within the law. It's fascinating, and I kind of want to see more of him. Also, I think he might be corrupted in some way. Also, it seems that in some way the Radiants are connected to the Desolations. And we know that Voidbringers are also connected to Desolations. And the only connection I'm seeing between them is Spren. And we've already gotten the connection that Spren have something to do with the Desolations. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just, like, spouting the information that we have. Not really making any points about it. But I think it's something to do with, like, the corruption of Spren. I think from that one vision Dalinar had. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. And so I don't know why, because he seems to think Justice, well, no, I don't think Justice is trying to stop a Desolation. I think Justice is punishing the Radiance. And there's the whole, the Radiance betrayed the thing with the Spren in order to make shard blades? I literally am not drawing any conclusions here. I'm just spouting information that I know. But I have plans. So I need to wrap this up, and I really have nothing to say anyway. So I'm gonna finish this, and maybe I'll have better ideas when I start for part 4. Who's in part 4? Kaladin, Charlotte, Dalinar. It's been the same people. You know I complained the whole first book that they weren't all together, and somehow when they're all together, it's boring to me. It's like, oh, I know what's gonna, but I know who's gonna be in the next section. That's really stupid. Anyway, but part 4, I haven't paid attention to the part. I haven't paid attention to the part titles. Part 1, a light approach, deadly. Oh, winds approach, deadly, the approach. Winds a light again, but winds without possessive. Wait a minute. Alright, the prologue is to question. Part 1, a light. Okay. Part 2, winds approach, possessive plural, so like the approach of the winds. fair enough. Deadly. Then the approach. And then winds of light, which is like winds just plural. So like lighting up the winds, lighting the winds on fire. Why did I look at those? Now I'm just more confused. Okay, I'm going now. Leave a like below if you're enjoying these. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking of my thoughts so far. If you're reading along with me by any chance, let me know your theories and vibes and stuff. Okay. Here's the thing, because I'm wrapping up this part. Love Shalin. I love her more every time. I think she goes through some bad phases, but I love Shalin. Kaladin is my son. I know he's like barely younger than me, but he's my son. Adolin is growing on me, but he works well with other people. I hate him on his own, so like now that other people are with him, I like him a lot more. Dalinar kind of still sucks. I think those are and Dalinar's girlfriend. What is her name? Why am I blanking? Navani. She's still cool. And Sadeas is the worst. Actually, that's not true. I actually think Amaram is worse than Sadeas, but they both suck. Alright. And anyway, if you want to hear more of my thoughts as I go through these, go ahead and hit subscribe so you can see when I drop my next one. And maybe check out some other videos that I have done, see what else you might be interested in. Maybe hop on over and check the Wheel of Time, another turning content, and see my brother and I chat about stuff.